All right, this morning in our School Matters series, how talking to middle school students about academic pressure and fitting in can help them do better in school. New research focused on more than 1,300 sixth graders making the transition to middle school. The study found the students who received social and emotional support from their teachers had better grades, attendance, and fewer disciplinary problems. Psychologist and CBS News contributor Lisa Damour joins us now. Lisa,
good morning.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
So this is a big deal study. What else did it have to say?
Well, basically, it's about that rough first day of school.
Yeah.
This is a wonderful study done in a large public school district in the Midwest, where they had 1,300 sixth graders. And to half of them, teachers gave a very straightforward three-part message. They said the transition to middle school is challenging. You will feel unsure about how you fit in. This will not last forever, and there's support here if you need it. And to the other half, they said sort of welcome.
Yeah.
And what they found is that the kids who got the message that they should expect some difficulty as they adapt, they should expect some challenge, those kids over the course of the year had fewer disciplinary incidents, came to school more often, and at the end of the year had better grades than the kids who did not get the expect challenge message.
Why do you think that happens? I mean, what is it about setting expectations for kids? Which it's a little sad to say, look, the world can be tough out there. You might face some difficulties. I mean, what is it about saying that makes it easier to then face those difficulties?
Well, what's interesting is if we consider the alternative. I think often when we sense that kids are anxious, we jump in with reassurance that's incredibly well-meaning. We say, it's going to be amazing, you look adorable, you're going to have a great day.
Well, you don't think you're supposed to tell them, look, it's not going to go so great for you.
Well, you don't think you are.
Right.
But what we find is when we say, it's going to be fantastic, don't worry, it's going to be amazing, what happens is they get there and they feel tense, and then they think, oh no, something's really wrong. When of course they're going to feel tense. They're adapting to an entirely new environment. The other thing that can happen is they can feel less sure that they can come home and say, it wasn't great, because you've said already, it should be fantastic.
So you want them to have realistic expectations, so they don't feel like there's something wrong.
Absolutely, and it's interesting, worry takes up bandwidth. And so when kids are worried about being worried, they have less energy to focus on school.
I like the point you made that don't confuse conflict with bullying.
Yes.
Because we are very quick to use a B word these days. Bully, bully, bully. You said don't confuse the two. What is the difference?
So for me, conflict is like the common cold of human interaction. If you're going to be with other people, you will have conflicts and you will get colds.
Yes.
And bullying is more like pneumonia. So conflict is two people not getting along. Bullying, when we define it very carefully as we do in psychology, it's when one person is being systematically targeted and cannot defend themselves. So that is dangerous. It needs to be treated. There needs to be real intervention. For conflict, we can help kids manage conflict more effectively, but we want to make the distinction between, is my child tangling with another child versus is my child being attacked and unable to defend themselves?
Is the recommendation just walk away, or do you give the kids, I mean, this is a real question in my household. I have a rising fifth grader, and I remember when he was coming into fourth grade, I remember fourth grade, and I said, look, you may on the playground face some kids who do X, Y, and Z. Here are just some things you might say back that could get you out of the situation. And basically put junior versions of put downs to deflect and get away.
What we find is if kids can kind of laugh off an attack, it does deflate it. And what happens is it goes from being bullying to conflict because your child is successfully defending themselves. What we also see across the board when we look at bullying is that the most effective interventions come from bystanders. The kids who are standing around when it happens actually have the most power to stop it. They can say, hey, knock it off, or come play with us, or they can get a teacher. So I think if we're concerned about bullying, we can say to kids on the way into school, you're not to mistreat anyone, and if you see someone being mistreated, you are to step in, or you are to invite them to play with you.
I love that recommendation.
You are to go get an adult. You have to do something.
Well, my go-to was always if somebody said something, so. It's really not too much you can go after that, so.
Andy?
So's your face also.
Yes, I was very mature. Thank you very much, Lisa Damour.
You're welcome.